Greetings and welcome back to Game Design. This is Lesson 4, Shapes and Parameters. Talked a little bit about parameters. We haven't necessarily put a name to it, so let's go and just jump right into this lesson. We'll go through the skill building and then you'll work on the practice. Again, anytime you should go through this yourself, or at least with me, pausing, trying it yourself first as a reminder. But for now, let's go to start this. So in this case, what you want to do, as always, is look at this, see what it wants you to do. So first, let's run it, see what's wrong. It looks like these are backwards. So as we're going through this, these are your parameters. Okay? As we go through, we'll actually get to functions later in this, but these are parameters. And you're sending this information to the computer, and it's taking it and using it. So in this case, fill blue, right? It's taking the blue and it's making this blue. It's taking this X, the Y, the width and the height. How do I know that? Because it's right here. The X, the Y, the width, the height. You don't need all of it. That's what that back arrow is, right? I can cut that out and it will still work. It'll just be the defaults. But that is something that you need to know how it works to know what you can cut. Otherwise, just use all of the pieces. And this is another thing, and I'll show you this again later. But this example is going to be really important for some of these things where you're like, I don't know what it's doing, right? So you can see actually how the code is. Not super useful for this one. However, as we get further on, it will show you, like, I don't know, it says tint. Well, what do I even type for tint? Is it a number? Is it a letter? What do I put in there? This ability to hover over it, look at this X, Y, width, height, look at the examples. That's a good pointer as you go through this. But for now, let's look at this, right? X, Y, this is blue. This is the 100, 100, so that makes sense. The X and the Y is 100. It's blue, and then it's 100 wide, all right? So that looks good. That's what that is, and it's 200 long. Well, that looks like it's too long. However, it looks like the red one is the correct length for this. So if we look down at the red one, we see it's 250 over, 100 down. All right, that's correct. It's 100 wide, that's fine. But it's 150 down, it looks like it needs to be longer. So pretty much, if you're looking at this, the length, the height, all right, that's the last number. The height is reversed. So I type in 150, I type in 200. And then I reset and run it, and now it looks like it. So again, these are parameters, right? This is the X parameter, the Y parameter. The computer takes it and then uses it for X and the Y, and the height and the width. Once we get to functions, it'll make more sense. But these are built-in functions for the computer, and these are parameters. And you're going to use this the whole time. Some of these are very succinct and used in just the code.org here. So again, it's not like every single command that you see here is going to work in JavaScript, period. And I'll point that out, right? These commands are specific to this. Someone's written a library that takes this and makes it over here. So for now, the key is understanding that what you type in here gets sent to the function, and then it gets processed by the computer and does whatever it should do, right? So if you don't know what it does, look at the examples. So that's all there is to that one. We're going to move on to the next one. And in this case, we're trying to make that egg. So you can see kind of as I'm starting this over, a little egg over there. You should see it on your screen as well. And I'll scroll this down. So let's run it first, and we have an oval. All right, so it looks like that's okay, right? That's that oval. And we need a bigger one. So let's do a couple things first. I'm going to do what I'm doing on purpose just to kind of show you. And you can drag this or you can type it, so it doesn't matter. This is JavaScript. If you don't need to type everything. And we need to add ellipse. And you remember, if this height and width are the same, it makes it a circle, right? So in this case, that's why it's an oval. And then I'm going to make this orange. I showed you already last lesson how to find the colors that you can actually type in there. And let's go ahead and just going to run it for now. All right, so I did this on purpose, right? The green was put, then we put the orange one on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, paste it above it, and now try that again. Okay, that's good. However, it's a little too wide and probably a little too tall. Let's start with the width. Now, here's the important thing. Like, I know a lot of students that will just start chugging in numbers and not think about, this already has a width, right? We can see this is a width and it's just a little bit wider. So again, x, y, width, and height. So this is 400, this one is 200. Now we know it's wider. I had students that type in 200, right? If I type in 200, it's going to look like this, right? There's no reason to do that. You already know 200 is not the right thing. Now you might be a little bit off on your next guess. I'm going to try 250. And in this case, that looks good enough. It does look a little too tall, which we'll fix in a second. But again, there's no reason to put 200 or 350 or something. Slowly think you know that this is 200, and you realize it just needs to be a little bit bigger. But it also looks a little high, so I'm going to put 350, and that looks pretty good. So again, understanding how these numbers work, how these parameters work, understanding the order of everything is a key importance of doing the first part of this. So we're going to finish this one. Move on to the next level. We only have a couple left before we move on. So sometimes you want to see the color, and we have this background thing. So this will be a new command for us, which will become useful a lot as we move through this. So you'll see this background. Now, let's look at the code first. So this is one of the times I do want to read through the code first and then run it. But in this case, we have fill purple and we create a rectangle. So we should see a purple rectangle at 50-50. And then we have a background that's yellow. So we should have a yellow background, and then we should have a blue one with a rectangle at 250-250. So over here. So one up here, one over here. We run it. We don't see the purple one. And again, it's the background covers everything. So we did the purple one, then we put the background over it. Therefore, we need to switch it around. And I'll just clean this up for prettiness. So now we should have a purple and a blue. There we go. All right. And again, you can change stuff. You can read what it says. It says change it to orange. You just change the colors by typing a different color. I put red because it's shorter. So again, there's its parameter, and you can see what it does. This will be important later when we start to get things to move. But for now, again, order, setting the correct parameter is important. All right, 2 left, and then you get to work by yourself. So in this case, we're trying to make that object over there, which all it is, it's already built for us. We run this. We just need the background. So we draw the background, and it's white, so we just change it to black. And make sure it's in the correct order. Background first, then the dot, and we created this. All right, last one. Oh yeah, I have not done this one. So in this case, we do want to run it. So here is the thing. We have the sky, the sun, the grass. Let's see if it looks like that. Again, understanding the parameters. The sky is blue, it's the right order. The sun's in the right spot, but the grass doesn't go all the way across. So the 0, 300 is what puts it right here. So it's in the right spot. 200 wide makes it only this wide, and 100 down. So looks like this is the parameter that we need to change to make it go all the way across. We know it's 400 across, and we fixed it. All right, again, this is where you go through, do the practice, the assessment, and then whatever challenges it tells you to do. That's all I have for this lesson. We'll see you next lesson.